There's different areas in that Portuguese landslide complex. I had mentioned that there's the Seaview community where there really wasn't any movement. It had been mapped that there was a potential landslide boundary through there. And part of that Seaview community is part of the Klondike Canyon Landslide Abatement District. But that community, that had not been moving at all. So the last couple of years showed us that enough rainfall could change that, and it has. So that's unfortunate. There's other areas that are in the Portuguese Bend area. Some of those homes have been out there well before the city was even created in 1973. And then there's another area in that Portuguese Bend area where the property owners wanted to develop and build, and the city actually told them no. And those property owners sued the city with their geologists, and they convinced a judge that it would be safe to build out there. So that community ended up signing waivers to the city saying they understood the risks and they're willing to take those risks. So it's a combination of different areas, but there was an area where the city said, we don't believe that's safe, and we ended up getting sued, and we were forced to process their housing permits in those areas.
Now, John, there's been a lot of media coverage of this, and Governor Newsom declared a state of emergency. Janice Hans, your county supervisor, declared some funding to help you guys out. What's being done about this?
Well, we appreciate that the county supervisor, Janice Hahn, has pledged $5 million. We haven't seen the money yet, unfortunately. So these sort of pledges or promises are good, but all this money is coming out of the city coffers right now. So it really doesn't mean anything until we get actual money in hand. We believe we will. We just haven't. Same with the federal government. We know that FEMA has, through our congressional office with Ted Lieu, has committed monies to our city. And those are, much of that money is going to go to the 2 landslide abatement districts to do projects to pick up stormwater and and do dewatering wells. And so I think that that's more of a do the work, send the bill to them, and they get the money back. So there's definitely that, which is great as well. But really the state of California is the door that opens up everything for us. We just had the governor declare a state of emergency. Now, it didn't quite go as far as we wanted it to go, but I think just the wording and the fact that he's declared it for the city of Rancho Palos Verdes is going to be opening up our doors to be able to communicate with the federal government, because the state of California really becomes a gatekeeper. Our city can't just go straight to the Corps of Engineers per se. We have to get kind of a permission from Cal OES, which is the Office of Emergency Services. I know it seems crazy, and when people say bureaucracy, that's what we're talking about, right? I mean, there's always a chain of command, and don't go out and talk to the right person until we tell you it's okay to do that. But you can see that an agency like the Corps of Engineers, where their primary job is to help our military get in and out and be able to have operations in different environments, whether it's the desert or the jungle or marsh area or that. So you can see we have this road that's a mile wide. And the Army Corps is used to figuring out ways to create roads and bridges and other things. We would love to put them on that problem, because we're spending probably $3 million a year repaving it with asphalt over and over again. It's madness, and it's still
because it's moving.
It's moving, and anyone that's been driven on Palos Verdes Drive South out there through the landslide area, if you're driving eastbound, there's an area we affectionately call the ski jump. And we warn you, but if you're going more than 15 miles an hour, you're going to get air in your car, and you're going to have some heavy damage. And I've seen some cars be pretty heavily damaged. So we need the expertise of the federal government and the state government, but funding has been a little bit slow at this point.
And you are having some efforts yourself. You're trying to get help from Elon Musk and others. Can you tell us what you're trying to do?
Well, absolutely. I mean, our city is a contract city, so we're used to having a small city staff of about 100 people, and then the services expertise like the sheriff's department, the county fire, our landscape people, our engineer, many of our engineers that do design work. We're used to hiring experts. And so when it comes to kind of this off-grid technology, the first thought is, Tesla Energy. You see the cars driving all over the place now. And also Elon Musk. You think of him, he's an innovator. He's got the Boring Company, he's got Starlink, he's got Tesla Energy, Tesla cars. So why not? Let's reach out to him. And so we wrote him a letter telling him, you know, we're getting gas shut off and power shut off, and we could use your help. And within 3 days of writing to him, they wrote back, they contacted me. Within a week after that, I had a meeting with 6 of their engineers and executives. In the meantime, other companies were starting to contact me as well. Other off-grid battery solar companies were contacting me. So I'm just starting to gather all this great information. And just a few days ago, Tesla Energy presented some solutions, some funding options. And it's great because the lead person with Tesla actually lives in Rolling Hills Estates, which is a neighboring city. So he knows that area. You're going to start to see off-grid technology that's not just diesel generators running power, but you're going to see some elegant solutions out there that are going to be things that change the way the rest of the country and world work as well. So let's move it forward.
You guys have invested a lot in getting this stopped, right? And some people wonder, like, is there a point that it may not be worth it anymore?
Right. I mean, so we talked about the number of homes, the 500 or 600 homes that are in the area, and our overall city has 15,000 or more homes. So fortunately, it's a small minority of homes that are affected, but these are still all our residents, and these residents, many of them are seniors, citizens, there's family with kids, and so you hear a lot of people say out there, well, this is an affluent community, they can pay for it themselves, why do they need our help? We're in crisis, and I think a lot of people don't realize out there that it's not a bunch of rich fat cats that are living out there. You've got a lot of people that bought their homes back in the 1960s, 1970s, and now they're all senior citizens, and this is all they have, and they can't afford those homes anymore. And so where do they go? When you kick them out of their home, and where are they going to go? They become homeless. So it's actually a really dire situation for many of those families. Yeah, there's some residents that have second and third homes, sure. And many of them have moved to those other homes and are going to wait it out until it slows down again and they can go back out and fix their house and be back in there. But that's a small minority of people that are out there. Most of those people are staying out there. That's all they have. The value of their homes are diminished to almost nothing right now. And so our 42,000 residents and the whole Palos Verdes Peninsula, everyone is banding together to help them. We're going to make sure that, and we're going to keep fighting to make sure this landslide gets reduced down to where it's been before, the 5 feet per year. And then once that happens, we're going to rebuild that community, and so we're not going to stop until they get back to normal.
Do you have any other thoughts for our audience?
Well, I'd say that I really appreciate a show like this. You know, California Insider does a great job of delving into the real issues. And I think that it's important that these messages get out there to the whole world, really. Because this is a situation that Rancho Palos Verdes is dealing with now, but it kind of happens everywhere in the world. And there's been a lot of people that have reached out to me and offered help, and other government officials, but a lot of private people, a lot of residents, and so that warms my heart. And I know that we're going to get through this okay, and I'm going to keep fighting. My term as mayor and city council's up soon, but we have a great city council, and more importantly, we have an amazing city staff.